What's up, guys? Windowless here, and I'm back with another album review. I'm gonna knock out two in this exact setting right here because I have free time, so I'm gonna do them anyway. The setup's gonna be here for just two videos, and then it's gonna probably go away. I'm just on a trip right now, so I'm doing the reviews while I have the time. And then tomorrow I'm gonna be in the car all day, so I'm gonna edit them then. Forget about that. No big deal. So for this first review I'm going to be reviewing the new Fortet album 3. Fortet, Kieran Hebden, most likely, if you listen to the kind of music that I listen to, this guy's no stranger to you at all. With his last album, Parallel, not being the best thing ever, I did really enjoy 16 Oceans, and I was able to pick up a CD of that album. And out of all of his releases, another popular one people always talk about is Rounds, which was kind of IDM and like jazz inspired, which is also a great album. But today we're talking about the newest release, 3. I keep wanting to say Rounds, I don't know why. I've seen portions of reviews from this new album, and from what it looks like, a lot of people are giving it like 7s and like 6s and around that range. I personally think this thing was a lot better than what other people are rating it. It just felt like kind of a callback to some of his earlier work, and it really shined for me, I guess. One of the main reasons is probably because I was on a hike when I listened to it for the first time, so most likely that kind of atmosphere that I was around when I was listening to it really adds to kind of the experience I have with the album. Also, sorry if you can hear my laptop fan, it's going buck right now, so don't mind that. Let's get on to the contents of this album though. It immediately kicks off with the song Loved, which is a pretty big callback to kind of his earlier stuff. It starts off with some drum chops, and it does have that classic Fortet sound that you'd hear in like his first 3 releases, like I said earlier. It's really atmospheric, and I find it really relaxing to listen to. Probably one of my favorites off of the album. The next track, Gliding Through Everything, was considered kind of a lower point in the album for a lot of people. I personally think this one holds up really well. It's these like nice warping and like bubbly synths that just kind of fly around your ears throughout the whole runtime of the track. It kind of sounds like a crystal cave. Like if you were in a video game and you walked through like a cave that was like all quartz or something like that, this is kind of what you would hear, I guess. And like I said, it could definitely be used in a video game as one of the tracks. The next track, Storm Crystals, which crystals, I just mentioned them, whoa! This one's kind of more Autechre sounding. It kind of has that Autechre sound to it, I feel like. The synths are very bouncy, kind of like this bow, bow. I don't know. If I were to compare it to an album, I would say it kind of sounds like some stuff off of Amber or possibly Try Repeat. The next track, Daydream Repeat, is kind of a lower point for me on this album. It's very kind of lullaby-ish. You could go to bed to it. And with that being said, this sounds like an alarm or a ringtone for some like Samsung phone. That's kind of why I personally don't like it that much. Mainly because Samsung ringtones have become such a meme in the past decade that it's like, you can't hear one without thinking it's funny. So this track just kind of sounds like something stupid. The drums are really sporadic, and this track does get kind of repetitive really fast, so that's probably why I don't like it as much. But in the context of the full album, I definitely wouldn't skip this one. Skater is also really good. This one actually incorporates some guitars with it, which is pretty cool. It's very kind of trip-hoppy, reminds me of some stuff coming from like Uncle, especially something off of science fiction. Also reminds me a lot of early Fortet, especially Dialogue. It doesn't really fit in with the whole theme of the album, but it still stands out in and of itself. Great track, probably one of my favorites as well. It just doesn't really fit in with the rest of the songs, I feel like. 31 Bloom is also really nice. This one's a lot more house-oriented than the rest. Has a very basic 4-on-the-floor drum pattern. Again, more sparkly kind of sounding synthesizers. Some chimes, and also some very jumpy chords. The track So Blue is also really relaxing. It's pretty slow as well, and I really enjoy how the synth really kind of punches you at certain moments in the song, and it will just kind of come in and be like, boom, right in your face. This one also does have that kind of Autechre sound with the synthesizers that are being used in it. Like I said earlier, for Storm Crystals, kind of more of the early Autechre, some slightly later stuff, probably off of XI. This one can get kind of repetitive, unfortunately, but still kept my interest somewhat. And 3 Drums is a very good closer for the album. It's very loud, the swelling synthesizers in the back, really cool atmospheres kind of in the back, and honestly I would call this like electronic shoegaze in a way. It has that kind of really fuzzy sounding, distorted, heavily manipulated sound to it, and it honestly reminds me of shoegaze. For the entire album in and of itself, I think it holds up really well. All the tracks feel like they fit in the album. Even with the ones that are kind of out of place, they still fit in just right with the rest. It's just kind of off-putting for like a second, and then you're into it and you're like, oh, this is cool. So I think in total, I'm gonna give this thing like an 8 out of 10. Really good. I'm hoping to pick up the CD for this album soon, or vinyl if there is one. But other than that, yeah, that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. What would you guys rate it? Let me know what you think of the review in the comments and stuff. And I'll see you in the next review, which should be coming out pretty soon. Bye.